I think all inaction more here, so it's trainings and
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you everyone for being here and those watching on TV. First order of business is a public hearing to set the tax rate for 2025.
Yeah, I can tackle that. This is our annual public hearing for setting the tax rates. And if you'll notice the memo in your binder there, gives some of the details. Attached to it is the public notice that was put in the paper delineating out all of the assessed values for the individual types of taxes. So the state has actually decreased our tax ceiling rate this year by 0.0047 due to the total assessed valuation increasing by $2,672,924. The rates are going to be set at the general fund, if you vote on it. The proposed rates to be set are general fund 0.3611, the park 0.0094, and the band at 0.0102, for a combined total rate of 0.3807. Last year was 0.3854. And that is per $100 of assessed valuation. The increase in revenues will be $7,994.17 over last year in total. And then what it'll generate this year then is $186,889.68. And I'll just read the breakdown here for you. General fund would receive $177,267.83. The park would receive $4,614.56, and the band $5,007.29.
Very good. Do you have any questions on this? Any public comments on the tax rate? If not, need a motion to approve that?
There's an ordinance, there's an ordinance on your agenda tonight for first reading to approve those
Oh,
rates.
we'll do it that way?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
no problem. That completes that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mayor's report. Sorry as usual. First of all, when the utility bills were sent out on July 31st, we've had several calls from customers stating that they have not yet received their utility bills. If you are one of those customers who have not received yours, please call the City Hall 573-486-5400 so they can give you the amount that is due by August 15th. So, I don't know, pick up with the post office, I'm presuming. So, and just so everybody knows, the pool is closed for the season because of the loss of our lifeguards going back to school. And the only thing I have is, Herman's known for its beauty. It's advertised all over. And I guess personally what I'm doing as the mayor, I'm asking for everybody to take some pride in your properties. Clean the weeds up along the sidewalks. Keep your lawns mowed. And this goes for the business district too. If you go down the business district, 1st Street, Schiller, Market, 4th Street, there's abundance of weeds along the buildings. I'm asking everybody to try and clean up our city, and so we can actually be that beautiful city that we are. Thank you. City Administrator report.
All right. We received our sales tax deposits today, and they are down again for the second month in a row. We're down $8,210.37 from the same month last year in sales tax, and that's in general revenue. Oddly enough, the lodging tax is actually up by 41% in July. So I know there were some delinquencies that were paid, but that's still a large amount. So we will kind of try to look for some anomalies. My quarterly sales tax report will come in a month or so, and I'll kind of peruse that as well. But I'm thinking it might just be countywide, because the law enforcement tax, which is countywide, not just Hermann, it was down 11% as well. So things might just be down a little bit. So hopefully that'll turn around. The comprehensive plan review will start to wind up. The advisory committee, who is the initial group that was put together, are going to review the draft plan September 23rd from 9 to noon here in the community center, and any of the public that want to come. Then tentatively on October 8th, the P&Z will review that as well, and then it'll come to you all at a date after that. So that is nearing completion. The Schiller Street project continues. Water and wastewater department is still working on connecting the water service lines to the new main. Of course, they get pulled off for emergencies and odd things, so as they can, they're making that their priority. It is requiring them to close one block of the street at a time for the next few weeks, and each building will experience about a 10-minute window of your water being shut off, as long as they don't run into any problems. We had the MQA water rate workshop was held here last Thursday. Myself and some public works folks of ours and 2 aldermen attended. They spoke about investing in our utility infrastructure and the importance of setting rates to bring in enough revenue to cover all of the utilities' annual operation, maintenance costs, as well as adequate reserves. And the sewer dumping that we discussed at the last meeting, Dave had the idea that maybe, since we were just talking about a couple companies, that maybe we look at that differently, like developing contracts with those individual companies, rather than just an ordinance. And I had that same concern. If we just passed an overarching ordinance, then anybody who came in and got a permit would be allowed to do it. This way we can be more selective about what they're bringing in and the volumes and that sort of thing.
The sewer dumping.
The sewer dumping, I'm sorry. Anyway, I thought I'd put it on the agenda for next month for more discussion when Jesse's able to join us. Does that sound all right?
That's good.
Okay. And just a reminder to everyone out there that with all the fall events and the Oktoberfest coming up, there's always all those permits and licenses. So if you're going to be using park property for anything, you'll need to allow us some extra time for that to go through the park board process and then to the board of aldermen. So get in those applications to the city. And I'll be attending several meetings this week. It's HRED, Chamber, that's Thursday, and they're working on their Rooted and Ready capital campaign. And I have MRPC on Thursday and the quarterly Transportation Alternatives Commission as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to public comments. I have a few here. So, number 1, Jennifer Davis.
It's going to be Jennifer Hermann Davis because she's kind of stuck tonight.
Are you giving time limits?
Yeah, 3 minutes
3 minutes,
here.
everybody?
Oh, sure. I won't take very long. I do want to say that, thank you for hearing our concerns on the continued and growing concern that we have with the traffic there on Schiller Street. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jennifer Davis, and I own one of the buildings at the corner of 3rd and Schiller. I bought it in 19, and I've lived there since 2020. And she's been there since 21. I've got a couple of guest suites and a tiny, tiny bar, and of course we live on property with a toddler and a cat, and we all really love living in the downtown Hermann area. And for the most part, Schiller is very peaceful, but there is consistently issues with cars speeding down the street, going way too fast. Obviously, it's more than annoyance, it's something that's unsafe. In the past 3 years, well, the first 3 years after I moved in there, I had made some complaints. We had called the police department a couple of times at least. I've emailed with Trish a couple of times, had unofficial conversations with the mayor, about needing to do something to slow that traffic down, including placing a four-way stop there. And it, honestly, after several attempts, I kind of gave up because it was going nowhere. But the need is still there, and I was pretty excited when it was on the last BOA conversation topic. I thought maybe we were going to actually get to go somewhere. So I guess I'm here to ask you, like, please take this issue seriously. It's something that we need for the safety of not just the pedestrians, but the families who live there, and of course our animals. And there's also kids that get off of the bus on that street. So anyway, again, thank you, and that is all.
Okey-dokey. Thank you. Colleen Murphy.
Hello, I'm Colleen Murphy. I also own a business and a building right there at the corner of 3rd and Schiller. Thank you for hearing our concerns about the potential stop sign at that corner. As Jennifer said, we do have a lot of children getting off the bus right there. The bus stop is right in front of my building, and it stops at 3:30 precisely every day. I don't even have to look at my clock because I know that's the time the bus stops, and there's several children that get off the bus right there, including Clayton's children from Lionheart, and I'm certain Jennifer's, little Ivana is going to get off the bus here in a year or two, right? Her cat wanders around the street. There's several other animals that are out there. Honestly, it's people who are driving down the street, either they speed past because they know there's not a stop sign, or when we have tourists in town, they don't know, and they stop there or pause there anyway. So I really think it would be just in the public safety concern to have a stop sign there, because people either stop or fly through it. So thank you very much, and please consider our request to have a stop sign at that corner.
Okay, thank you. Kelly Thompson.
Hello,
Hi there.
I represent the Angel Moms of Hermann and some of the dads. I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. 14 years ago, Teresa Black lost her son Justin in a car accident. On September 5th, 2011, almost 14 years ago now, we lost our daughter Taylor, also in a car accident. Teresa, knowing what I was going through, reached out to me to offer her sympathy and condolences. She had tossed around the idea of forming a group of moms to meet once a month to support each other, which I thought was a great idea, since no one really understands the loss of a child until you lose your own child. She then reached out to all the moms in Hermann that she knew of that had lost a child, and the group Angel of Moms of Hermann was formed. We have a private Facebook page for support and sometimes meet up with each other for dinner and conversation. It's a place for support and comfort for the unthinkable, because this will never happen to us, right? It's unfathomable. Even living a nightmare, it does not seem possible. We are constantly hoping it's not true and often look for our child in large crowds. We all pray this never happens to anyone else, although we know it will. Many of us have given thousands of dollars to the community in scholarships to honor our children. Some of us do acts of kindness in silence, such as randomly paying for meals or gas for people. We reach out to new members of our club that no one wants to join, so the newcomers know that they are not alone and somehow they will survive. Some of us are able to visit our children at the cemetery, and some of us cannot fathom going back to the cemetery. Some of us have had our child cremated and do not have a place to go sit in silence. We recently had an Angel Moms meeting, and Amy Grandman, Blake Grandman's mom, coordinated the meeting and brought up the possibility of having our own Angel of Hope in Hermann. We all fell in love with this idea. Since discussing the idea, Amy has been approached by many people who would also like to have their child spread at a Hermann location. You won't understand the significance of that unless you have also lost a child. There are many statues in town for many reasons, and we are asking for a location for the Angel of Hope. It is a statue that brings solemnness and peace. There are memorial bricks in memory and honor of our children that are gone too soon. We are hopeful for the location above the city park because it is out of the way and a semi-private area. We will fully fund the statue and the area with fundraisers. We have already been approached by many who would like to donate. We will also do the upkeep of the area. A lot of people ask how. I say don't underestimate the length moms and dads will go through to continue to keep their child's memory alive. I know many people continue to personally take care of their child's resting place even though there is someone else to do it. Many people continue to do fundraisers to keep their child's scholarship going, and mentally this is very hard, but we do it for our children. I would like to introduce you to our children. I'm going to ask all the moms and dads to stand up and say their child's name.
Annie Reckon, please. We're Danielle Marin Schmidt. Our son is Austin Schmidt.
Henry Jackson.
Blake Raymond. Marcus Eldringhoff.
Austin River, Dale Alderson,
Sabrina Vargas.
Ben Jacoby, Amanda McHouse. It's me, Sherry Houseman, I'm Josh and John's mom.
And I'm Taylor's mom. Unfortunately, as we all know, we are not the only ones who have lost a child, and we will not be the last ones to lose a child. We all pray no one ever knows the pain of losing their child. We feel we have found a beautiful spot in the park for our Angel of Hope, and we are asking for your permission to continue forward with bringing the Angel of Hope to our community. I also invite you to visit some of the surrounding towns that have an Angel of Hope so you better understand the beauty of what we are asking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Danielle Schmidt.
Well, I don't know how I can top that, but I did bring the schematics of what we are proposing for the site, so I can pass that around and let you know that it's going to be approximately 400 square feet, hold approximately 5,000 bricks, and then we would like to have a walkway that that's specifically for our sponsors. We have taken careful consideration into all the other proposed locations, but with the tranquility and the peacefulness and privacy of that spot up by the rotunda and the fact that it overlooks the ballpark and, you know, the city park where many of our kids played means a lot to us. So that is our proposed place, and we really appreciate your time and consideration into this matter tonight so that we can help keep our angels, you know, in honor. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sitton.
I want to address this new ordinance that you're thinking about. And I have a lot of concerns on it. I understand what the people are saying that live on Schiller Street. This is not the way to correct it. The procedure went the wrong way from the start. Did you do a traffic survey? You brought it up. Did you do a traffic survey? You're the alderman that brought it up.
No, I did not.
Did you do one?
No.
You're the city engineer. You have to do that. 2, did you talk to the police chief? I know the answer. I'm trying to get you all to confess what you've done.
Oh, no, we did have a meeting and the police chief was invited to the meeting.
Okay, and he endorsed this. Now, think about what I've already uncovered before you make the next statement, because I will make a fool out of you on camera.
He has not endorsed it. He said he wanted to do a, you call it a survey, but wanted to do about a 3-month,
Do an analysis on
and
it.
there's a word, I couldn't think of it.
That is the correct way to go. You put the horse behind the cart. Let's do the survey. Let's see if we can justify it. But it can only be justified if Chief Walker's numbers come up. 1, he's going to have to show you're going to have speeding on that street. 2, that there's accidents on that street. If there's no accidents at that intersection, you have no business putting one up. Now I'm going to give you an education on federal.
So
We
I
come
just,
under
But
the federal law.
it's in process of what the
Now,
chief
but
is
you
doing.
already jumped ahead of it. Don't interrupt me here.
I'll interrupt you if I want to.
then I will extend my time. Is that understood? Okay, federal guidelines spell out how you have to do this. We are still part of the United States of America, and we do operate under the Uniform Traffic Code. So you have to take that into consideration. I don't care if you put one up there or not, if you do it properly. But to just shove one through, that's improper. Your problem's not the stop sign, it's the intersection. Your properties are built, the old houses were built right on the line. And your merchants on that street have a tendency to park in a no parking area. That intersection is noted for it. When the county health department's there, I don't care what time of day you went by, there was always cars parked in a no parking area. If you can't enforce the parking area, you can't go any farther. Therein lies your problem. You have a site problem. On the west side, you can't correct it unless you want to buy out those two buildings and eradicate them. On the east side, you can eradicate part of it, but not all of it. If you say the speed's too fast, lower the speed limit. You can do that. That's getting your problem resolved. But I also think when you lower it there, you need to lower it in all residential areas. Another big concern, and I've run this survey for the last 2 weeks, is the parking on Schiller Street. Your merchants are improperly parking. Some of them are parking in no parking areas. Some of them have their vehicles halfway out the street. By city ordinance, you are to park to the far side, on the right side, within 18 inches of the curb. If you park out, today there was 2 vehicles down there at 9 o'clock. Both of them own businesses. They parked partway out on the street. 10 o'clock, the people that park behind them following their pattern, and that's all you're doing. Have them park to the curb. Educate people is the way you solve problems. You don't solve them by passing laws.
If that was an extra minute, that's up to you.
You done? Close to done?
I will drop it on that one, but I would like to address the other issue I had on the bottom there.
Okay.
Do I have time for that?
Different subject, go ahead.
Okay. I'm not going to take 3 minutes on that one. But tonight you're going to look at a continuance on a conditional use permit. We granted this conditional use permit for 18 months. They have done little or nothing to the property in the 18 months. They had a building permit. It expired in October of last year. Now they request an extension. My recommendation would be no. Because if they're going to get it done in 18 months, extending's not the problem. We're trying to control guest houses, not add more problems to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Mr. Mayor, if I may add something.
do it.
I'll have Dave double check this, but I checked the code, and I'm actually the traffic engineer, one of the many hats that the city administrator wears. And the traffic engineer is the one who can decide where signs go, not even the police chief. So, just for the record.
Only with the recommendation of the chief of police. Follow the federal guidelines, not what the city code has in it.
I'll defer to Dave on that.
Send us citations and copies of whatever codes we're talking about. I'll be happy to advise the city accordingly.
That's why they have an attorney, not me. I'm not paid to do that for you.
I think it's
There is
legal
a-
to put a stop sign on Schiller Street.
There is a
If you
manual.
think it's not,
Let me correct it. There is a manual. The city of Hermann should have 2 of them. They had 2 when I left office. I brought it up on the computer the other day. It hasn't changed anything. And it's under the Uniform Traffic Code. So that simplifies what you need to look at. Any other questions?
did we adopt it?
Can you adopt it?
Did we?
Yes. You did this back in the 80s. You didn't have a choice, because I brought the engineers in from the federal government to check every intersection, see how it should be marked. Because we had intersections that we were in trouble with, and they went through and inventoried every intersection, told you what you could put up there, how you could put up there. They paid for all the signs and all the posts with labor that haven't done it, and we agreed as we would stand on this issue.
All right. Let's move on. Hannah James, please.
I'm Hannah James. I own a building right at 209 Schiller. We have our business there, and my family lives there with my 2 little kids. And I guess I'm just a little confused about the opposition of a stop sign. I don't really understand. I don't know how each of you feel about it, but I can say just living there every single day, I see people drive insanely fast down Schiller Street. I mean, speeding. It's very dangerous. It's like shocking. I don't know if you've spent any time, probably not, just standing there watching cars drive by, but it's shocking how fast people drive. And it's, as you know, we've got a very walkable town. Not only are there kids that live on the street, but every weekend there's families walking around, there's tourists, there's residents. It's, you know, there's a lot of people walking around. And I mean, we've been standing out front, and thank God no one has been hit as of, you know, I don't know of that happening. But I don't know if we're just waiting for that to happen, if we're waiting for someone to get seriously injured or worse. If that happens, I mean, you're going to feel pretty stupid, you know, hating on a stop sign. I just don't see what the downside is to adding that layer of, I mean, all it does is make you pause, and it's, I just don't get why you wouldn't put one there. Just try it out. If it doesn't work, if it causes some horrible issue in town, take it out, maybe. But I think it would be a good thing. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. We'll move on to old business, which is the proposal for the new stop sign on Schiller Street. We have a draft ordinance. Open up for discussion before we move forward.
I'll open, I know we kicked this around last time. I think we had a good debate on it. At that point in time, it was announced that the chief had no issues with it, but the next day, the chief sent an email out with a statement, and I will let him back it, and I do have a copy of that email that was sent. I think we should turn it back over to the chief to continue his investigation to see if there is speeding on that street, because I drive up and down Schiller Street quite often. I know right now it's under construction and will be for several months. If you're driving 40, 50 miles an hour, you must have a suicide idea, because 2 cars can't hardly even meet on that street. So my recommendation is that we allow the chief to continue his investigation and report back to us his findings, say September the 8th. That gives him a month. And possibly we could go through MRPC. I know we did this a few years ago, and get one of those portable radar machines. That way, chief doesn't have to have an officer sitting there all the time. And that will capture the speed of oncoming and ongoing traffic, click their speed, and will also tell you the size of the vehicle, small, medium, or large. It'll break it down by day of the week and the hour of the day. So that would leave it up to the chief, but that would be my recommendation.
Anybody else have comments?
Has the city ever considered making it a one-way street?
Not since I've been here.
Our public works director has brought that up a number of times.
Sorry, who?
Jesse.
I would be all in for a one-way street.
I mean, are some other options. I know one of them would be real bad, no parking on the one side of the street. And another option, instead of a stop sign, I've seen this in other communities. There again, I know it's going to be opposition, but do inverted speed bumps. It's just sticking up, it's down. If you put them on 2nd Street and 3rd Street, that should get, right now, we kind of got that with all the water lines being put in.
Yeah, right now.
But that could be another option.
All right. Chief, would you come up and speak for a second and let us know what you're doing and what your program is or how you're addressing it, I guess?
Since the last meeting after the email, I've had officers and myself have been sitting there regularly running radar, and the average speed we're clocking people at with radar going east and or going north and south on Schiller is between 18 to 24, 25. We haven't had anyone come close to doing 40, 50, or even over 30 during all hours of the day. Obviously during the day we have more vehicles are parked along Schiller, so going through there most times of the day is too narrow to even think of going that fast. In the evenings you might get a high school kid or someone that might get up to speed a little bit, but it's not all the time. I mean, obviously we can't sit there all day with one officer or even myself during the day, but I've been out there with a handheld. My officers are sitting back by throwing away, shooting radar coming down, and we're not picking up speeds at those kind of speeds of 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. Again, there needs to be more study. I mean, there's options, like you said, with the raised speed bumps. Some cities have those that slow people down. I know the cities discussed that in the past about making that a one-way street, which I guess an engineer, somebody would need to come in and look at that, and about parking, angle parking, or certain things we can do before we throw a stop sign up. I mean, we'll continue monitoring radar through there, especially with schools starting up, to make sure people are slowing down, making sure they see us, that we're monitoring that area, and continue that, and just make sure we're not seeing those speeds that are being reported as 40, 50, or in excess of speed like that down that narrow street. I mean, that's one of the narrowest streets in town is Schiller, especially when both sides are full on a weekend or during the day. You can't get through there some days without having to pull over or squeeze through there. So it's an issue we'll keep monitoring. My officers and myself will, and
Do you
report
think,
back to you.
what, 3-month window?
Yeah, whatever you want to do, we'll keep monitoring it and report back what we're finding and the speeds, and if there's an issue, I mean, we'll stop cars. We've been doing that, writing tickets for other issues, and we're sitting there running radar, or expired tags, or got a few arrests out of vehicles passing us for stops, and so we'll keep monitoring the area, especially, like I said, with kids going back to school here in a few weeks, that will be more visible through there and try and slow people down if they are, and do what we have to do before we throw a stop sign up. That street's pretty narrow, so if you put one up, it has to be visible enough for the drivers to see it, and with most of those vehicles parked right up to the corners, and the stop sign there is going to be hard to see. And even putting a temporary stationary one, where you're going to stick one at that is going to catch the speed, because all the cars are blocking everything, so you can't put it out in the street. And there's nowhere to put it where it's going to catch the radar or vehicles coming down without it, being blocked by the vehicles. Without us sitting there with our handheld or our vehicles, we can angle the radar and catch them. Like I said, I sit there with a handheld, and I can sit and kind of do more with my vehicle with the handheld. And I haven't picked up anything over 25 in the 2 weeks I've been doing it. And my officer, my lieutenant, and everybody's been sitting there in the evenings, and they're just not getting those kind of speeds. But again, we'll keep checking it and being visible through there, and for whatever period you want us to just continue to do a study, see what we're getting and what we're seeing there, and go from there. Like I said, there's a lot of options we can do before we just put a stop sign up there.
I would think that at least 3 months, and agreement with you on continue what you're doing.
And like I said, those speed bumps, you can just, those are temporary, the city can just drill those into the street, and even if that slows people down.
I don't like the speed bump idea, because one thing is we get a tremendous amount of car clubs that come in with.
I mean, they can be removed if, like I said, they're coming in, the city can just take them back up for an event or something. It's not permanent, they can just remove them for an event and put them back in. I mean, it's something that's not permanent, you can just remove it as needed.
Right. Okay.
Chief, I'm sorry, can I ask one question? If, besides potentially impeding traffic, what is the drawback of adding?
Well, I mean, you're gonna have a stop sign, like I said, right there at First and Schiller, you already have a 4-way. Then you come up to Third, then you go to Fourth, there's a stop sign, then you go to Fifth, there's a stop sign. So on a busy weekend, especially Oktoberfest and festivals, we'll have traffic backed up, and it could be just a mess on Schiller with that many stop signs in that short of a street and as narrow as it is. we need to do more study before we just throw one up there and make sure it's visible enough for people to see and not last minute see it and hit the brakes and somebody behind them rear ends them, and we could have more issues there just putting one there than not having it. And I understand everybody, like I said, people that live there in the businesses, you know, for their safety and their customers and their families, and we'll do what we have to make sure people are slowing down and seeing us there, and we'll enforce traffic and write tickets and do what we need to do to get people's attention that they need to slow it down if they are.
Anybody else have any questions for Chief? Okay, that's how we'll proceed at this point.
Okay.
That is, extend his investigation for another 3 months?
No, 2 more months.
2 more months.
A total of 3 months. Okay, now we will move on to new business. We're going to discuss the Angel Hope statue location. I'll turn it over to you all. Anybody have any discussion?
I've got a comment on just, I guess, a couple of questions. I think it's absolutely wonderful that every single person in here is dedicating themselves such a wonderful, and it's just heartfelt cause. As a father myself, I don't even want to think about it. I know you all have had to go through it. I think the idea of having a memorial is a wonderful idea. I do, and I know there was comments that the group would take care of it, but I'm just slightly concerned about perpetual care of it. You know, as you know, the next 5 years, great, but 20, 30, 40 years from now, you know, do we have any sort of agreement, you know, with the group that that would continue going? I don't want the city to be necessarily responsible and cause damage while doing maintenance or anything like that. So that would be something I would want to make sure that was in writing somewhere. And then my other question would be for Mr. Police is, from city standpoint, does this create any extra liability issues for the city?
No.
I figure it's just like a playground. Not that this is a playground, but our liability that covers such things would just extend to this as well.
And I think we can, you mentioned putting something in writing, and we can establish a certain amount of control that I think would make our the insurance company happy.
Okay.
Yeah, we did talk to Mama about it, and, you know, they said, yeah, it could be, you know, if it's near, close to a playground or something, and maybe kids thought they could play on it, you know, it could, you know, be a little bit of a liability issue, but they didn't by any means say that they couldn't do it.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I think it's a great, I think it's a fantastic idea. I guess that area is really used quite a bit, and will that cause anyone any problems by us renting out the rotunda and the JC pavilions?
Yeah, there's a lot of wedding receptions and things to go over there. And you just made a comment
Get up here, Amy.
and this just made a comment that kind of bothers me is, you know, wedding reception, you got people with a lot of little kids, they're gonna be over climbing on the damn thing, you know, that's an issue, you know, you know, there's all those little things that enter into this stuff.
I was up there this weekend for a bridal shower, which I thought was perfect timing for me able to see what it would be. There was probably 50 to 75 people at the bridal shower. I actually went out and took a video after everybody was there and it started. Everybody was parked without any issues. There was no one parked even close to the spot that we're looking at of putting the statue. There was little kids playing outside during the bridal shower that they weren't even over by that at all.
But if it was there, then maybe they would. No, I'm, you know, speculation.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
I
we have a
understand.
gazebo up there which kids could go up, climb on, which isn't the safest, so it's kind of
I
like
know, let,
anything, anywhere is a liability.
okay, let us discuss up here and then we'll
Okay, do you
open
want me
it
to
up a little.
send someone a copy of the video that I took?
No,
Okay.
no, you're fine. All right.
So you sit on the park board. I'm just curious what the park board decided to send this to us. Did they vote on this location?
They did not specifically say where, they just said it could be put. They didn't have any problem with it being put in that area.
So that's the recommendation to the Board of Aldermen?
It was the Board of Aldermen's decision on whatever they wanted to do.
But they're okay with it being on park property?
Yeah.
Normally, the normal procedure is the park makes a decision and presents it to us for us to yay or nay. And so I'm
Well, they weren't against it in that area.
Kind of passed the buck on to us.
Do you have the minutes from the park?
Oh, that's fine, I don't need the minutes, that's the normal procedure, that's why I'm confused, yeah.
I'm kind of like Dolores, because of course I just live a block away and we can see what's going on up there. I mean, the idea is great. I mean, I understand what you want to do. I haven't lost a child, but I've lost a spouse and parents and brother and all that. The location up there, there's a lot of vehicles that park up there just to attend ball games. Or if they're, yeah, I've seen them parked up there, 6 to 8 of them, but there is 10 of them. But there is really no parking up there in a circle drive. And I know from tree commission meeting, I know what the city's got coming up with the ballpark. There's gonna be some heavy equipment working up there because of the rock walls. Tricia verified is starting to lean in, and that's gonna take some major excavating to get there. There's some trees that are dying that's gonna have to be backhoed out, graded down. That could be future things are happening. And I think Amy had asked me something. I messed up one email back to you, but she asked me about other sites. How about have you considered on West 11th and Gasconade Street? For those that grew up here, I'm talking about where the old horseshoe pits used to be. It's as you come down the steps from the rotunda, there's mature shade trees, and it kind of overlooks the ballpark, overlooks the swimming pool. It's out of the flood zone. Might be a good location. Then another location I know was mentioned is north on West 9th Street. So it would be across the street from where the dinosaur park is. Right now there's a tetherball court. Then we could look at the city cemetery area too. I know, I'm just throwing out ideas like you did. But then one lady spoke, said 500 square foot. But if you look at the drawing, it's 35 by 35, that's 1,225 square foot.
It's 20 by 20. 20 foot by 20 foot.
Well, the drawing's got 35 by 35.
Yeah, what we got says 35 by 35.
Okay, so yeah, the second one. That's the picture we took the first time before he did
You look at the drawing that
the drawing for us.
was given to you.
No, that you just passed around.
I think
It's smaller than what it was originally.
Now, but see, we haven't seen that until right now.
With so this hexagram area, would it be iron gates? Is the plan for iron gates around it to protect it within one end?
No, not at this time, no.
It would be open, right?
Right.
So that
19. I haven't taken geometry that recently. I can't do that square area. But I think the bigger question is location, and I personally myself I don't really have a problem with it up in the other city park.
I do agree with what Jim said. I do know there is going to be some excavation with that retaining wall. And I certainly don't want anything to be started, stopped, moved, anything like that. But I know you all are probably looking at a few years out before actually doing anything, correct?
Correct. Right. Everything, as I understand it, all of the money for this would have to be raised before this would be installed. So we were thinking about a timeline of 2027, a couple of years down. But we're asking ostensibly to be in a partnership kind of with you to give us permission to begin.
Can I ask as well, are you all officially formed a group
Yes.
that, like, with the 501c and all
Yes.
that?
Yes, we're part of the community foundation. We've already done all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
You have an estimated cost, what that would be
Amy
to
can
build
speak to
it
that.
and?
It's about $30,000 for the statue and then all the bricks and stuff. And we're hoping to get the concrete donated.
I was doing the math here, that's, if you sell the 500 bricks, that's gonna be about
Well.
67,500.
We don't think we'll be able to sell all 500 bricks. What we do is sell as many as we can. And then as we sell another one, we take that brick out, take it up to the guy, he puts the name on it, and we bring it back. The gentleman that we're working with has done the Angel of Hope. He's done 4 or 5 of them, so he's very well informed on how to do all of it, and he will help us do it.
There's an Angel of Hope installation in Washington Park, and
I was gonna add,
it's a beautiful, very kind of restful.
where exactly in
sanctuary.
Washington Park?
In Washington, it's up behind if you go to Lions Lake, then there's a swing set area, it's up behind that.
Okay.
It's kind of got to go up a walking path. It's a very good, peaceful, calm place to go. If we get to put the Angel of Hope in Hermann, it'll be on a national website that tells them everybody where it's at, which could possibly bring more people to Hermann. I've had a gentleman from Louisiana that used to live in Hermann that already wants to know where he needs to send his money to Vicksburg.
Cool. Personally, I think it's a wonderful idea. And my heart goes out to all of you for your loss. My issue is the location. I know the upper part isn't used like it used to be with all the festivals and so forth, but my fear is 15 years from now, something changes and the JCs or the Lions or somebody wants to start some type of festival or something, and they want to utilize the park, and a big part of the park is gone because of that. So the location bothers me. The idea is wonderful. In thinking of different places that might be a possibility is right behind the City Hall on the end of the parking lot. I went out there and looked at that. It's right at the base of the hill. It might not meet what you were looking for, but it would be big enough to do that. But I think that I think everybody's in favor of you doing it. I just don't know if we all agree on location of it. I think if let us, I don't think we need to make a decision tonight, but I think we're supportive of what you want to do. It's just being you're not actually planning on doing it for a while, like he says, if we do take them trees down and all that, that all has to be done before you do the project anyway. Give us a little bit of time and see if we can come up with some other locations and throw them out to your organization, and you can say, or yay, and go from there. That's how I feel about it. I don't know, you guys have to make the decision, not me.
If I could just say one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I think when we began speaking about this, one reason we chose the Upper City Park was because it is flat, it is not susceptible to flood, it is navigable by anyone in a wheelchair or on, people who can't get to or climb a hillside. And it is quiet, it is reverent, it is a sanctuary. And I think that's what we were trying to do in memorializing the kids, was to provide that kind of memorial, that
And I think
collective thought.
I think part of the problem up there is not quiet all the time. I mean, yeah, it's quiet.
Well, and
It-
in this,
comparatively,
comparatively.
Well, Washington just had the second biggest fair in the state right by the one in Washington that they're talking about too. You got weekend events or week-long events
Okay,
that are
yeah.
gonna come and go, probably.
So, what do you all want to do? It's up to you to make a decision on what you want to do.
I'd like to explore every option before we say, yes, you've got that space. I think Mr. Mayor might, that maybe just a little back and forth, but personally, I would like maybe a different location, but I don't really have a problem with the proposed location. But I think it would be good, and I know you all have done way more work about this than I have when I saw this on the agenda a week ago. But would be good to explore every option, and especially with proposed excavation and construction in that Upper City Park area. I also would want to check in with, Ben and Jesse as well, just to make sure that there isn't a site or anything with this proposed site that there might be, tree issues,
An issue that we don't
power
know.
issues, something I don't know about.
Have you all looked at or considered any other sites?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
What were those?
Riverfront Park, down there, it floods. Owens Park, it floods. Where else have we looked at? We do not want it in the cemetery because I personally cannot go to the cemetery. I just can't do it. Sesquicentennial Park, it floods. We spent hours driving around Hermann looking for places.
This is Herman. The two I suggested there on 11th and Gasconade, that doesn't flood.
Correct, you're talking about the old horseshoe pits?
Yeah.
Your issue is kids.
You're putting it.
You're putting it right there.
Next to the
by the
playground.
Kids,
Yeah.
next to the bathrooms. That would just be
An attraction for
an
them.
attraction for the kids,
Right.
right outside the pool,
Across the street.
right
Yeah.
outside the pool.
Close,
And then
close vicinity.
the other one on 9th Street is by the
Playground
area
playground.
over there. I know you mentioned that site in the Upper City Park would overlook the baseball field where a lot of the kids played, so
Down below. Yes, I understand.
within walking distance. I'm not arguing, but
Sure.
I'm trying to find another opportunity because it's a good idea.
Okay. Who is the contact person?
Me?
Okay. So, if it's okay with everybody, we're gonna table it for tonight, and then Peter heads together, and then I'll contact you, and
Okay.
where you all can come back again, and hate to put you off, but we need to make sure we do the right steps and keep everybody happy all the way around,
I'd like to hear from Ben as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I say, we have some, talk to park supervisor, and, anyway. They're okay with everyone?
Because we have no idea when they're gonna be working on that wall or that.
Yeah, there's things we have to find out, even though
They're not
it's,
building this tomorrow, so.
yeah, even though it's
Well, I
2
know,
years
but
down the
we still
road,
need-
some of our projects in Herman that are supposed to happen tomorrow, like Schiller Street, we're a year behind. I mean, so it's hard for me to say, oh, we're gonna take care of the problems we got there, it'll be done in a year, because chances are it ain't gonna be done, Every time we turn around, we have a sinkhole or something else that pops up that just messes up the whole game plan. But, anybody else have any comments before I close on that?
I'm good with that.
All right, I want to thank you all, and believe me, my heart goes out to you, and we will try and make the right decision and support you as much as we can.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you very
appreciate
much.
your consideration.
And thank you for all being here.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to ordinances then.
No.
The first for consideration, bill number 2025-35 for second reading, an ordinance to amend Hermann Municipal Code section 110.170 regarding qualifications for the office of city treasurer.
Okay, this is second reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the second reading for bill number 2025-35.
I'll second.
Motion made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next for first reading is bill number 2025-36, an ordinance setting the 2025 annual rates of levy for ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes, establishment and maintenance of free public parks, and municipal band purposes.
Do I have a motion, or any questions?
I suppose on the numbers that we had earlier, the increase in revenue is because of the increased property valuations, even though we're decreasing the tax rate.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve 2025-36.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Does that need to be read twice?
No.
Nope, okay. All right, next.
Next, for first reading, bill number 2025-37. I'm going to read the heading that's actually on the ordinance itself because I tweaked that last second, so it might not have transferred over to the agenda, but it's the same concept. An ordinance to amend Hermann Municipal Code Chapter 140 and Code Sections 300.095 and 110.040 to acknowledge the transfer of municipal court functions to the Gascade County Associate Circuit Court. So this is just a bit of housekeeping and cleaning up the code. A while back, because Hermann always had its municipal court. It was held in this room with our own judge and clerk and prosecutor and processes, and that got moved up to top of the hill in Associate Circuit Court, and Judge Bray Krieger now presides over that at one of her dockets. And so a lot of these sections that talked about procedures and who the judge should be and things like that here in city court, we're just taking out.
And they'll never revert, I'm assuming, correct?
I would assume that is correct. If it ever does, we can put them back in. But yeah, no, it's not. I don't know that there's a city in Franklin or Gasconade County that still has their own municipal court. They're all moving to, to their associates circuit courts. It seems to be the trend, starting with many of the restrictions and rules and issues that were caused by the Supreme Court when they started talking about exactly what the court had to be and separated, make sure it's not in the same part as City Hall and this. The city's just kind of pushed them on up to social.
Very good. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve bill number 2025-37.
Motion is made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We will move on to motions. Do I have a motion to approve our last meeting minutes?
I move to approve.
Motion is made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to pay our bills.
I move we pay the bills.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Caterers permit, Firmway Distillery, or Distilling Company, Old Vine Kitchen Emporium, Tin Mill Brewing Company, Hermann Harvest Festival, Amphitheater, September 27, 2025. A motion to approve those caterers permits.
I'll move to approve.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
So carried. Caterers permit for Adam Poot to Hermann Oktoberfest Sesquicentennial Park, October 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. Motion to approve that.
I move to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So carried. Okay, here's permit for Adam Cookta Winery, Old Vine Kitchen Emporium, Witches and Wine, 4th and Schiller Street, October 16th, 2025. Motion to approve that.
Can I ask, my memory, have we approved Witches and Wine Festival yet? I hate to approve a caterer's permit for a festival we haven't.
So we went ahead, we normally make sure we have that, but these caterers permits, they have to go to the state. It can take like a month to get them.
Okay.
So because we know it's an annual event, we went ahead and made the exception, if you'll make the exception.
It's gonna happen, I just
It's
didn't
gonna
want,
happen.
I just didn't want to
Yeah.
approve the caterer's permit for an event that we haven't ourselves approved yet.
And we always watch for that, but in this case, I told Kelsey, go to put them on the agenda, or these people aren't gonna get their caterers permits in time.
Okay.
All right. That motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
So carried. Vehicle for hire license renewal, Dearborn Educational Foundation. Motion to approve that.
Is this an actual vehicle, or is this the
It's a carriage.
carriage?
Oh. I move to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Conditional use permit renew extension request for the historical preservation of Hermann LLC at 501 Gilbert.
So Justin from Hermann is here, if you'd like him to.
Yes, please elaborate.
Come on.
Kind of new to this, so what can I elaborate, what can I answer the questions? It seems like we had an 18-month permit and it's expired, is that correct?
Yeah.
We still intending on doing the building that, we've just been behind, as you can see, with construction that it's taking forever to get anything done, and get contractors, so we're just behind.
So is Pam still the owner?
No, HPOH, Hermann, Historic Preservation of Hermann is the owner. Pam is no longer working.
Purchased it? Historic Hermann just purchased it? Historic preservation?
Find out they purchased it originally.
She was just managing it?
Yeah, she was just managing it. Her and Paul are on that permit, they were just managing it. I think everything on the property has been kept neat and clean and everything like that as best we can right now. I believe they've gone through the historic preservation federal application process. Right now, just getting to the work on.
Would it still be what was originally requested for 6 guests, 3 rooms?
Yes, all of
luxury
that.
parking?
Yeah, all of that's exactly still the same.
So did they receive anything from their application for the, what is it, federal?
That I'd have to look up into.
So you can't start any reconstruction until, or any work on it until you receive the permits from the feds?
No, I believe we've gotten that all taken care of. We just haven't been able to get to the work. But I can, let me clarify for it.
It's just getting the actual boots on the ground, so to speak.
Yeah, we're just strapped thin, like, it's just, with the distillery, bank holders are busy. When we try to reach out to other contractors, we can't get anyone. So we finished the crop house, that's turned out beautiful and working well. The distillery should be up by June of 26th. So between now and then, pull off the bank holders to work on the other projects.
Do you intend if we renew it, that work is going to begin within this next 18-month
Absolutely.
time period?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm just kind of, as I've stepped into this role, learning some of this, and I'll work with Jim to make sure that we put it on.
We just don't want to continually renew conditional use permits.
Yes.
Especially when we, kind of put the kibosh, on such things.
You don't have to do another 18 months, you can do a year, or 2 years, or 6, I mean,
The time period doesn't
the
matter.
time period, the term of the permit is up to you guys.
Which normally the cup's 1 year renewed annually. So we gave you a break already, so.
So
If you're, go ahead.
When were you going to start work? Do you have any idea?
I don't personally, I mean, they wanted to do this 18 months ago. They wanted to get going on it. They just haven't.
In other words, your construction crew is working on the distillery, you don't have nobody else to do it, that's what you're telling me? Correct?
Yeah.
One-year extension?
Well, there's some things out there, I didn't follow everything, I was looking at it, but do you have all the certifications licensed from the state that you have to have? I thought you said you didn't know.
I need to double check. I believe they had everything in order. I looked through the files to get that information from you.
Because I know things on National Historic Registries, there's a lot of red tape.
18 months.
And no, I agree.
Knew that ahead of time.
Well, I don't think he's saying that it's the red tape that's slowed him down, it's the,
It's just
you can't get people actually, do the work.
actually physically getting it done.
I would recommend if you're thinking about denying it, that you don't deny it tonight, that you table it to the next meeting and set it for hearing, quote unquote, and send some notices out and give the property owner time to bone up on some of these answers and questions and where they're at, and have a little bit more due process than just to say no. I don't think if we've had a renewal of a conditional use permit ever, I can't remember it. And just to have it on the agenda and have someone come and expect it to be renewed as a formality and then not renew it, I'm not real comfortable with that. I think you can approve it tonight, but if you're inclined to even debate or say no, we might want to do that with a little more formality on the record.
So you're saying table it tonight and put it as a public hearing for next meeting?
One thing I think we need is a clarification that you got all the documents from the state, and I guess is what.
And did you establish how long you would want? If you were given the option of how long you would need an extension for, what would that be?
It would be 12 to 18 months to complete. We would definitely get something going in the next 6 months.
But then, as soon as it's complete, it's right back here, because then you want to actually use it. It's the use that is, you're getting the permit for, not necessarily.
Not for the construction.
And then they'll then be back and back and back again and again and again, presumably.
One of the other issues, it's for a guest house, right? So we don't do guest houses anymore, so this is grandfathered in because this was permitted before that?
It's not grandfathered in per se, like you have to automatically say yes, but I would say if you want to say no, let's give the owner all the opportunity to make their best case to renew it.
Well, what I'm getting at is if we say no, does that mean that they can't do a guest house?
Yes.
But we table it, dates and everything's still intact.
Right.
I think, make the motion that we table for this evening and give you time to make sure you got all the documentations that is required by state historical. Give us some timelines, and then at that time, maybe we can make a more educated decision.
So you're tabling it until next meeting?
Do that in a motion that we table it.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we table the topic of the renewal of the cup for Deerberg's property on Gellert Street, I think it was, until the next meeting in August, the 28th.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's what we're gonna do, that way we haven't kicked you out the
So
door.
a little more direction for Kelsey and I. What does this look like on the next agenda? A public hearing like we did tonight, it's kind of an informal public hearing.
I put
And
it,
are there some specific questions or information that he can bring back to satisfy your questions?
But they have all the
All the
permits
right
that they were
permits.
supposed to have to originally.
I think that's the main thing as far as the project.
This isn't just
don't
another
have a problem.
18-month extension to renew again to, you know, before we build, do construction because of hiccups or whatnot.
Are you clear on what is expected? Okay, very good.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Okay, I have here one or two. I have two liquor catering, or temporary liquor and catering permit that's not in your book that was added for the Old Ozarkian Distillery LLC for the Smoke Fest for 9/20/25. It's gonna be at the amphitheater there, so. You have a motion to approve the Old Ozarkian Distilling Company?
And Wood Hat,
Yeah. you
And,
can do the
well, I have two of them
together.
here. I
Yeah.
have the Wood Hat also.
Just do them together if you would. They're both
I'll do
Smoke
them together.
Fest.
The other one's the Wood Hat, at the same thing as the Smoke Fest. You have a motion to approve both of these?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. All right. I think that cleans us up, I believe. We have no reports, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you for coming and watching.
I wish